Doraemon used a special kind of magical paint to draw a circle around the house. Then, he activated the space exchange machine. In the blink of an eye, the house was transported to 18th century Versailles. Nobita's mom stepped outside, saw the massive palace and classical architecture, and mistook it all for a movie set. Meanwhile, Nobita and Doraemon got ready to find mom and go sightseeing, but they were shocked to discover that she had already gone out alone. Just then, the king's carriage nearly ran her over, causing her to stand up and angrily scold him. Unexpectedly, the king was captivated by her feisty personality and fell in love at first sight. So, the king stepped forward to apologize to her. However, due to the language barrier, mom thought he was rehearsing a scene with her, and followed him into the palace of Versailles without a second thought. Nobita, his dad, and Doraemon realized mom was missing, and using the translation jelly, they learned she had been taken away by the king. Meanwhile, inside the palace, the king formally proposed to mom. Still thinking it was part of the script, she not only happily agreed but also gave him a chocolate bar as a prop gift. At the same time, the trio was stopped at the gates by the guards. They were told that tonight, the king was going to marry a woman who had just entered the palace, and that strange people like them were not allowed near. Upon hearing this, Dad felt like his world was collapsing. They used the dress-up camera to disguise themselves as 18th century aristocrats to sneak into the palace. However, when it was Doraemon's turn, Nobita put him in a dress, because he thought 3 men together would look too suspicious. Thanks to these disguises, the 3 of them successfully snuck inside. Doraemon anxiously searched for mom, but unfortunately, a stranger insisted on asking him to dance. Doraemon tried to wave him off, but the man grabbed his hand and started dancing right away. Nobita was too busy eating palace pastries, while Dad, at this critical moment, was captivated by the ceiling murals. Meanwhile, Mom, dressed in a gorgeous bridal gown, was still thrilled about starring in a movie. Soon, someone shouted that His Majesty the King had arrived, and the crowd immediately cleared a path. Just as Mom was about to kiss the king, the trio rushed out to interrupt the ceremony and dragged her away. Mom thought her family were just making a cameo appearance as extras. They managed to escape the palace, but Mom couldn't run fast in her heavy gown, so they hopped onto a cart. They sped down the tracks, and although they were moving fast, the tracks soon came to an end. Seconds later, they were thrown from the cart. Fortunately, their house was right in front of them. They would be safe if they could just make it inside. But unexpectedly, the king and his guards caught up to them, and demanded they hand Mom over. Nobita and Doraemon stood in front of Mom to protect her. Doraemon pulled out the gadget Denkumaru, and Nobita, wielding the saber, easily defeated the guards. Seeing this, the king had no choice but to step forward himself. But just as Nobita was preparing to duel the king, Dad stopped him, because he wanted to settle the score with this jerk personally. Suddenly, the Denkumaru ran out of battery. It was too late for Nobita to stop his dad. Dad and the king charged at each other. In less than a single round, Dad's sword was knocked out of his hand by the king. The king triumphantly declared victory, but to everyone's surprise, the falling sword landed right on the king's head, knocking him out cold. And just like that, Dad defeated the king. When the king woke up, he graciously admitted defeat and gallantly gave Mom a rose. Finally, Nobita and the others brought Mom back home, but Mom still believed she had been filming a movie the whole time. Back in the 18th century, the king ate the bittersweet chocolate, reminiscing about this strange encounter.